Okay, good to go.
Well, there it is, yes. 4:57, 56. Good afternoon, everyone. Neil Marston from Flynn Gold here, and in this 5 minutes I'll give you a story, an update on the story of Flynn Gold today. We were listed on the ASX in June 2021, so we've been running for about 3 years now. And really our focus when we listed was on gold in Tasmania. High-grade gold in Tasmania was the thesis, and we're certainly working towards proving that thesis is true. That photo shows some of our team down there in Scottsdale. I'll give you a corporate snapshot just so that those of you who want to understand the value proposition. We ended the financial year with about $3 million in the bank. We've got a market cap of about $6 to $7 million at the moment. And our board, I'll just point out John Ford, who's on our board. Now, John Ford represents Tambourah Resources Fund. You'd probably know of John. They came in as a seed investor in our company, and they've participated in every capital raising through the IPO right through to the latest rights issue. So Tambourah Resources Fund are a very good investment vehicle. They've done very successfully, made a lot of money out of Azure Resources recently. And John's very supportive of our strategy. They like what we're doing, and if you want some due diligence or surety about the quality of our assets, the fact we've got Lau on our register is a very important thing for us. Northeast Tasmania. Now, I saw Simon Lill talk about earlier on about the discovery of gold in Victoria in the 1850s, and then it cycled around to Western Australia. What he didn't have on that map was Tasmania. Gold was discovered in Tasmania in 1852 in Mangana, which is, if you look at that map there, you can see in the northeast of Tasmania, Mangana is shown. That's one of our areas. So certainly gold was found in Tasmania at the same time as Victoria, but I think everyone in Tasmania just crossed over to Victoria and really focused on mining there. Also, you'll see there the extension of the Victorian goldfields into Tasmania. That is why we are exploring in Tasmania. Our ground holding is predominantly in that area, as you can see, and certainly from a geological point of view, the rocks are the same age and the opportunity for us is the same. And whilst everyone's talking about going and exploring to the north of the under the Murray Basin in Victoria for gold, we've got outcropping gold on the surface in Tasmania. And the other thing about northeast Tasmania is Beaconsfield Gold Mine. It's the largest gold mine in the northeast, produced about 2 million ounces of gold. You can see it mined back there around the turn of the century. It closed just before World War I due to some water issues, and then reopened again more recently. And then New Golden Gate, which is close to our area, they mined down to 580 metres, so there was certainly lots of gold there. Our focus in the northeast, we've got 3 projects. Our flagship project is called Golden Ridge. It's a large granite intrusive with gold around the contact. We're also exploring in Warrantina, and we've just secured the ground around the Beaconsfield gold mine. So surprisingly, outside of the mining lease, which we don't hold, there's a lot of exploration opportunity for us there when we get that lease granted. So this, in a very brief overview of Golden Ridge, the pink on that map shows a granite dome, which is the intrusion. The grey area around it is the older sedimentary rocks. As that granite is intruded, it's broken the ground up, allowed the fluid flows to come through, and you're getting these veins of high-grade gold mineralisation occurring along the contact. We've done drilling at Brilliant and Trafalgar, and at Trafalgar we've been intersecting gold of over 100 grams per tonne gold in those veins. There's been 20 holes drilled into it as of today, and in the first of those 25 of those holes have reported results of over 100 grams, and we're still waiting on the results of the last 2 holes, and they'll be announced in the next few weeks. So keep an eye on FG1 if you've got time. And really our focus over the next few months will be to advance our flagship project at Golden Ridge. I'll skip that one. Talking about northeast Tasmania, a lot of people think Tasmania is full of Bob Browns. No one wants to explore over there. Well, I can tell you we're exploring in state forestry areas. Permitting is very simple. We ring up the mines department. They'll give us a verbal approval on many occasions. Our team is based in Tasmania. They know the rocks. We've got lots of support from the community, and we think, you know, we're on the pathway to taking and making the next major gold discovery down there in Tasmania.
Ding, ding, ding.
Thank you for your time.
Thank you, Neil. It's a lot harder than it looks to say something in 5 minutes, especially something as interesting as that. Darius, did you get all of that? Did you? Because my child would never have said the sentence, "I obviously have bullion," when he was 15. I'm lucky to get him to say, "I'll be home by midnight." Up next, we have Rita from Tambourah Metals, I apologise. Rita, I promise to be, you know, not too big. Where's the clicker? That was, yep, good to go.
Thank you very much for the opportunity to speak, and although it's brief, I'll just focus on our main projects. When the slides move. Hang on. Huh? Restart. Which one? Yeah, I've done that. Not working again.
Which one? This one?
Yeah. Does this come off my time?
No, we'll start again. Guys, stop the clock. I've always wanted to say that. Okay.
I had trouble before. See how? Yep, great.
We have an introduction? There we
Thank
go.
you.
Perfect.
We just... Okay, so Tambourah Metals floated in 2021. We raised 8 million, and last year we raised 1.7. We've been focused in the Pilbara and looking for gold. We've just a corporate overview, just update. We've got a placement out at the moment, and a rights issue. The rights issue will be 0.35 cents with a 4.5 cent option, and that'll close in a week's time. And we wanted to raise more money for drilling because the drill rig is on site at the moment. It arrived today, and our main plan is to work at the Tambora Gold field. It's a historic gold field that we've consolidated. There's over 30 historic gold mines, so they mined an ounce a tonne gold, and as a result we've gone back there in the last 2 campaigns, and we've been, with the gold price, focused on developing this particular gold field. So there's gold in several of the drill holes that we're following up with. In particular, we're now looking at the World's Fair and the Federal Prospect. We drilled there last year. In this particular, you can see where the World's Fair is in the northern section, and we drilled there and got 2 metres at 18 grams, which is Tambora King of one particular, the same hole, there was 1 metre at 28 grams. So the Tambora King sits in the middle, the whole length is 3 kilometres. The World's Fair sits to the north, and at the very southern section you can see Kushmati, but some recent drill holes that we got from historical data, there's 10 metres at 10 grams, but in one particular hole it was 1 metre at 40 grams, which means that that's over 2 kilometres with high-grade gold, and where share price is 4 cents at the moment. So when we're going up to drilling there, I'll just quickly skip through, there's been several, this is only our 3rd program of drilling, but it's our first diamond drill program, so that will help consolidate some of the geology, and as a result you can see where the Kushmati is, you can see Tambora King and the World's Fair. So high-grade gold, and other people initially were against, sort of saying, oh, it's only small, but I think other producers, and especially at this conference, have spoken about high-grade gold and how that can grow. So our first diamond program is happening right now, and this just shows you where Tambora King is. It's under 100 metres, all of this metres of 28 gram gold. However, the diamond drilling will assist in defining a lot more of the geology. And you go to the north, the World's Fair, granite and gold. So we found quartz. The quartz veins are both in the amphibolite and the granite, and we only drilled with RC previously, so we got a grant from the government for half of the drilling, and we're utilising that, and we're doing the fundraising now to continue and see if we'll pay for ourselves for the Tambora King holes. That just gives you can come to the booth and have a check at the rest of our programs and projects. We have other gold projects, in particular the Chila project, and that's between Paulson's of nearly 1 million ounces and Kalamazoo 1.6 million. We've got 70 kilometres of strike there, and we went through again the historical data, and at 8 metres, at 8 grams, at 88 metres depth, there's at Chila North, it sits to the northwest of the Electric Dingo, which is a 20,000 ounce JORC deposit belonging to Black Cat. The Black Cat at Paulson's mill is 70 kilometres away. So this is one that we have an opportunity, if we find anything, we can actually also process. I meant to mention that Tambora is 180 southeast of Port Hedland, so again it's very accessible, and that gives you an idea of where we're drilling. You can see we want to go back to RC and use RC to drill here. These holes were done by Newmont in the 90s when they were looking for base metals. The last project that I can just introduce you to today is the Bria project. It's a copper gold project. It's one that we're developing, and we're waiting for some of the approvals to come through. The large Beatty Park South is on the left-hand side, and that's 5 metres at 22 grams in the 1990s when gold was less than $500, and so that's still waiting for us to have a look at. The other project sits around the 250,000 ounce Harmony, but in the meantime we're working in particular...
Sneaky, isn't she? She just keeps going.
Yeah, we're finished, but come and have a look, and our website has all the data and the releases, but come and have a look. Thank you.
Thank you, Rita. Thank you. You did a great job of summarising some very complex documents and graphs there. The thing I love about gold and about gold mining is the names. Like when you're saying, oh, that's next to Kalamazoo and just up the road from the Electric Dingo. It sounds like you're wandering through the UK to, find pubs called like the Slug and Lettuce and things like that. I love it. They're fantastic. Next, I would like to introduce Ian Holland from Adelong Gold. Ian, are you going to stick to time? Because I might start counting down from 10 at the end.
Sure. Well, good afternoon all. Very pleased to be here to share the Adelong Gold story. I will just check to see if that all works. That's all good. Look, fantastic to be here. We have a portfolio which includes some projects in Brazil, which I won't speak about today because unfortunately I've got a very short window. But if anyone wants to hear about them, we're in booth 10 just next door here, so please come and see us. So our focus will absolutely be on the Adelong Gold project, which is our flagship project. So southern New South Wales, we control the entire historic gold field here, so 800,000 ounces of historic production, half of which was hard rock underground at 45 grams per tonne, so it's a high-grade field. So from our perspective, we have a current resource of just south of 200,000 ounces, significant resource growth potential over and above that. But what differentiates us, I think, is that we've got a development-ready asset with significant existing infrastructure, and I want to talk through that. So really, and you hear this a lot, but grade is king. So from an Adelong Gold perspective, we have a pretty robust scoping study that was released. I'll talk through some details of that, but key to it is 3.5 gram open pit material. So pretty significant margin on that material, and I'll talk about some of the benefits that come with that. So that's the scoping study. We are planning for some drilling later this year in terms of advancing that project, both in terms of upgrading the confidence, but also looking to grow and extend the resource, and doing the associated studies and feasibility work to upgrade that scoping study. I mentioned some of the infrastructure on site. So previous operator invested in excess of $30 million of capital into the project. So we do have some significant infrastructure on site. You can see here, top left is the processing plant itself within a shed, so that's been well maintained. Mill, top right, flotation circuit, bottom left, and they access the ore body through an underground portal and decline, and then drove on the level. We would take that out with an open pit, but it gives us great exposure. The scoping study itself, completed in late 2022, at a $26.50 Aussie gold price. It spins off $70 to $80 million free cash. At today's spot, that's something like $150 million cash. We're a $5 million company with $1 million in cash in the bank. I think there's exceptional upside and leverage here. Scoping study spoke to $12 million of capital to re-establish production. Inflate that a little, and we can talk about 15. That's the sort of metrics. So if we think about this on a capex to NPV ratio, it's outstanding. Produces about post ramp up produces about 20,000 ounces per annum, but I think should be viewed as a starter project. We control the entire gold field, so this thing is only going to grow. Upside from there, resource expansion. So very little drilling across the entire gold field. So from our end, we think we can only expand this piece. From a scoping study perspective, the scoping study only takes out half of that resource. It takes out the half that sits on the mining lease. That's intentional because that's the more easily permitted piece, and we can take that forward. You expand that and you give yourself capacity to both grow in terms of lengthening mine life, but also deepening production and increasing production. Gold price itself, again, I mentioned the scoping study was done at 26.50 Aussie. Add $1,000 an ounce to that, and it really, really supercharges the margins. And there's significant regional potential that sits with that as well. So it is the only mill within that local area. We have existing cyanide permitting, and that's a competitive advantage. So it allows us to become a regional hub for production. So I've got 30 seconds left. Pretty good timing. So in terms of next steps, further drilling this year, beefing up that study, a couple of other divestments of non-core projects which help to fund that as well, so non-dilutive to shareholders, and really looking to move the project forward and into production as quickly as we can. 10 seconds.
Look at you go. Well done. Thank you. As always, I highly suggest that everyone goes to the booths and get a little bit more information. 5 minutes is not long enough to give you all of the information you need, but just enough. Up next, we have Rowan Johnson from Patronus Resources. I'm going to hold back on all of my Harry Potter jokes. There are so many. So, can I go for it? Yeah.
Thanks very much. 5 minutes, not long. Patronus Resources, the marriage of Kin Mining and PNX Metals. I'm not sure I need to say very much. Brian told me as he came off stage, they're covering us. So just follow Brian and you'll know all about us. Very quickly, so most conferences you're asked to put your phone away, I'd ask you to take it out. That QR code will take you to the full presentation, take you to our website, and in case you miss it, I'll put it on the next slide as well. Right, Patronus, we believe, why do you invest? What's your investment criteria? And I've been doing this for a long time, I've asked a lot of people, and the answer generally come back, they invest in people, they invest in price, and they invest in projects. So I'm just going to emphasise really quickly on the people, the price and the projects, and of course the QR code is still as well. So the people. So this is our group. I won't go through every individual on there. Between us, we've got over 20 corporate transactions in the last 10 years. So we're corporately very active. We're sitting strongly in with our management team. We've just moved office into West Perth. We were out in the suburbs of Osborne Park in Perth. A very strong team. Graham Asco will be joining next week. I should actually say the second court hearing is on Friday. So as of next week, the scheme of arrangement between PNX and Kin will be complete. All right, so that's the people, and I'm going to go really quickly. Price. Well, we are exceptionally well priced. We have over $85 million in cash and shares, and we have a market cap in the order of $60 million. So we've got the combined entity between all of us, we've got about, between PNX and Kin, we've got 2.4 million ounces of gold equivalent made up over 6 different projects, and some of that's in base metals. Actually, I will go into that one very quickly. So very quickly, you've got there, these are our major assets. So you've got West Australian assets in the Leonore area, and very quickly, how we came across that money, we sold 2 projects, which was Bruno Lewis and the Rayside projects to Genesis. What we'd done with those 2 projects, we'd drilled them out to the extent we were going to drill them out, not sufficient size to build your own plant, how to monetise it. The best way to monetise it, Genesis, Raleigh Finlayson, I've known for a while, they were wanting to start up, so we actually managed to sell 600,000 ounces to them at $88 an ounce, plus some Dacian shares that we had, and pocketed that $86 million. So this is the first time in my life working for juniors and exploration companies where we had a tax problem. Luckily, we've got enough carried forward taxes to avoid it. The other one, going to an audit meeting with a junior exploration company and you're not a going concern, and we won't be a going concern for 15 years. We've got enough money there to do our exploration program for 15 years. So those projects there, Mertondale actually sits between Hub and between Bruno Lewis. So with 2 of the Genesis pits they're going to be mining in the next year or so. The Mertondale project wasn't actually offered to Genesis at the time. We've got more work to do on that project. We want to build up the asset, we want to build the confidence in it, or we want to take it closer to mining. So Mertondale project now is fully permitted. It has access and it has a mining plan already in place and approved. So I hate using the word shovel ready, but it's as close as it can be. By the end of the year, we'll have a new resource out for that project. I thought you were whispering to me.
You've got loads of time.
Not yet, still time.
Yeah,
I'll slow down a bit then. If I do actually run under time, I can read out the whole disclaimer and competent person statement. It should fill in the time quite nicely. So the other exciting one there, and please come and see us, is, I won't go through each of them, is the uranium. So we actually picked up a uranium deposit from PNX. It's the old Thunderlara project, or Thunderball project that Thunderlara ran. They were doing very well with it, very high grade, but quite small at this stage. It was done in 2010, Fukushima stuffed everything up and that all stopped. That came back to us. We have an EIS grant from the Northern Territory Government to put in a 450 metre deep diamond hole. If that comes up, that'll triple the size. If it doesn't come up, it doesn't kill the project. We've had a lot of excitement. 41 seconds, I'm going to go on to the next one quickly. I won't read out that summary. You can see it for yourself on the screen. Please come and see us. John Ingram, our Chief Operating Officer, is in the booth. What I'll do, 27 seconds, I've got time. I shall start on the disclaimer. No, I won't. I'll go back to that one. So again, please use your phone. That QR code should take you straight to it. If you don't get it there, then we've got it in the booth. It's hanging on the wall. It's on our business cards. Don't hesitate. And Brian, we'll catch up later and I'll fill you in more detail. Thanks very much.
Well done. Look at you go. Yeah, 2 seconds under his belt. He's still got time to go. Now, up next, we have Argent Minerals, but I don't know who's speaking. Pedro? Come on up. It was a surprise to me. Kerry likes to do these things. Okay, go for it.
Hello everyone, thank you for having me today. Just quickly, I'm just going to run through Argent Minerals and our main flagship asset in New South Wales. Argent Minerals was incorporated in 2008 on the back of the Kenfield project, which I'll be quickly discussing. Currently, our market cap is under $24 million. We've got around about $3 million in cash with no debt. So with today's presentation, I'd just like to quickly and briefly talk to you about the Kenfield deposit. The Kenfield deposit is situated in the Lachlan Fold Belt. We're around about 40 kilometres south of Orange. Kenfield was originally earmarked to go into production in 2012, but since the silver price collapsed, the VMS deposit has been placed on care and maintenance. Since my appointment in mid-2022, we've basically reassessed the whole project. We redesigned a lot of the actual modelling that was originally done. We've done 3 phases of different RC diamond drilling in the last 2 years. We've moved the deposit from an unconstrained to an actual JORC constrained model. In July of 2024, we released the updated JORC resource, which came back at 63.7 million tonnes, averaging over 1 ounce of silver, which equates to around about 142.8 million ounces of silver equivalent resource. The actual deposit is approximately 2.3 kilometres in strike. It's about 400 metres in width. Predominantly, the historic drilling only focuses on the first vertical 100 metres of the silver resource, as it was always earmarked as an open pit type of deposit. Subsequent to putting all this information together, what we found is that by us drilling deep holes beyond the 250 vertical metres up to 350 vertical metres, we found that the lead and zinc actually increase exponentially with depth. This deposit has not been closed off by any stretch of the imagination. We still have 3 massive plunging ore chutes which are dipping to the east. We're planning to potentially drill some of these deeper zones during the course of this year. But at this stage, what we're trying to focus on, and what we have been focusing on in the last 6 months, is expanding the mineralisation footprint outside of the known resource. The last 18 years, predominantly everyone's concentrated around the resource. In the last 6 months, we've taken more samples outside of the resource area compared to the last 30 years of exploration. And on the basis of that, we've found another 7 kilometres of untested strike with rock chip assaying between 100 and up to 300 grams of silver a tonne from surface. On the basis of this, we raised $3 million in June. We were oversubscribed by $6 million on the back of this placement. And we have a rig arriving on the 9th of September, and we anticipate to start drilling within the next 2 weeks. And by us drilling over the next 2 weeks over these areas which are highlighted in magented orange areas, where hopefully we'll start expanding that resource. We anticipate that if the first round of drilling comes back positive, then we'll be drilling between now until the end of the year on a 200-metre drilling program, which will be a JORC-compliant resource. This project is pretty much advanced in terms of its permitting. The metallurgy has been done, the engineering has been done, the pit designs have been done. So all we have to do basically is brush off the last 10 years, get it up to a 2024 compliant, 2025 compliant EIS standard, and we could actually start applying for an actual granted mining lease. We have no native title issues, as this has been extinguished, as we have a mineral release granted over the whole area, and also to the northern extensions which have been granted by the New South Wales government. So for us at this stage, we're looking to actually expand the mineralised footprint, get some easy, shallow, high-grade silver, and we should be hopefully in a potential production scenario within the next 24 months. That's about it.
Look at you, you're the winner. You had 4 seconds left.
Oh, already?
Thank you so much
Oh,
for all that
thank you.
information. Okay, guys, as we said, if you'd like to see any of